let's get started. Let me open up the PPT, switch over. Oops, not this. Okay, so the whole idea, our idea of you, your role as a teacher is that we want you to not only deliver the message in the course book and online, but to facilitate this environment, learning environment. Meaning we want you to get students to speak, not just you talk and deliver the material, right? So your learner, it's a learner center approach, meaning it's what student needs, not what you think you need to deliver. Okay, so please keep that in mind, because that is the foundation of all of our teaching instruction. Second, the foundation of is that we specialize in the EFL environment. That is why many of you have not heard about us. How many of you are aware of the difference between ESL versus EFL? Anybody know what the EFL and ESL stand for? Okay, you're not my students. I mean, you are for today, but I want to communicate with you, all right? I don't want to be the only one speaking.
I think that the difference between ESL and EFL is about environment.
Ooh.
So ESL is a student who live in the non-native country, which means they don't speak English, their native as their mother language. So in that case, we teach them like in this language school. But EFL, on the other hand, the environments they are living in is they're living in which use English as a mother language, like first language. So I think it's all about environment, I believe.
You're right in that it's about the environment, but perhaps I should have written out the acronym. The EFL I use is English as a foreign language, not first language.
Yeah. Okay.
And so in that case, it's actually switched. And so ESL will be where the learner is surrounded by English speaking language, and they're learning a second language to adapt to their environment. And English as a foreign language is like our students here in Korea. They speak mother tongue, Korean mother tongue, and they're learning a foreign language. So that's, for me, Japanese, for me, it was, I grew up in Hawaii. I'm from Hawaii, by the way. And so in Hawaii, I learned Japanese in school. So it would be JFL, English, Japanese as a foreign language.
Ah, I see, yeah.
So our Korean students, are they ESL or EFL?
EFL.
Right. The reason why I point this out is that we, specialize in EFL learners, industries, environment. And that is why you have not heard about us before. A lot of the books you use, Oxford, Cambridge, McGraw-Hill, Macmillan, where are they from? They're all from English-speaking countries. They're publishers there. They specialize in ESL. That's how they started. Let's go back one more thing. All the Korean publishers and the professors who help write those books here in Korean market, where do you think they went to study English? Do they learn? Some have learned it here in Korea, but the famous
usually they learn abroad. They learn English abroad.
They went abroad and studied there. The teaching methodologies from ESL.
Ah, I see. Yeah.
Perfect. So what we're saying in that, is saying that ESL, EFL, you need to teach it differently. It's a different approach because it's a different environment. Okay. So this idea of EFL, how it should be taught, why we ask you to do things this way, it's all because we're in a EFL and we have that in mind. Next foundation of is that we follow what's called the CEFR, the Common European Framework of Reference for Language. So CEFR. I'll definitely invite you to write this down, CEFR, and if you have time, do search upon it. It's a global standard English communication, like a guideline. It started out in Europe, 1989. When European Union was created, they were exchanging workforce. People from UK were going to Germany or Finland or Czechoslovakia to work, and people from France were going to UK for work. And people were going freely. But they quickly came to realize that not everyone is able to speak English well. But they had to hold these certification, TOEFL and stuff, but still they weren't able to work together. They weren't communicating, right? And so the Council of Europe, the one who's in charge of European Union, the Council of Europe said, hey, we gotta do something about this. And hence they came up with the CEFR standard, which measures one's ability to communicate. And so this is the standard right here, CEFR A1, A2, B1, B2, C1, C2. Ira, are you there with me? She's here. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So CEFR standard, you have this, Ira, you said you have taught with Get Smart, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so in the back of Get Smart book, do you ever remember seeing this guideline, the term A1, pre-A1?
In the guideline?
In the back of the book. Oh, the back cover. One? All the way back, like the front cover, back cover. Right there. Your finger is covering it.
Yeah.
Right. And so because that book you're looking at is blue, what level is it?
A1.
Exactly. Right. So what we mean when we follow the CEFR standard, it stays within this guideline that European Union has set. But now it's not just the European Union, it's not just Europe that uses this standard. The whole world is adopting it. In fact, 10 years ago, Japan started this project, CEFRJ, and their goal was to have their students, high school, graduate with the B2 level. And that is, in fact, our goal for our students before they graduate from your academy, B2. But with Get Smart, it only goes up to A2 level. And that's actually still quite hard. With our secondary books, Full Blast, they go up to B2. Okay, so moving on. So then I said earlier, the CEFR measure one's ability to communicate. So then what's the difference between talking and communicating?
Talking is just the teacher is the only one who can speak to given information about the English, about the learning English. But on the other hand, communicating is like interaction between student and teacher.
Okay.
And facilitate the student to speak.
Okay. How about for you? Thank you, Lily. What are your thoughts, Ira? Since you're the only person with the mic, only two.
Yeah, I agree. Talking means it's only one way. It goes only one way. But communicating means teacher and students have to communicate each other. And as we've said, as we've seen the picture before, students also have to communicate to each other.
Right, exactly. And I'm trying to get you to imagine like someone's ability to measure how much to communicate, what to communicate, right? If there was such a guide, your job gets much easier because you don't have to teach the whole wide spectrum. You teach within the present simple, you only teach this much instead of doing 50 pages of worksheet. trying to teach everything about present simple. You just teach this much. Next level, you teach up to here. The next level, you teach up to here, right? All of a sudden, because of this guideline, your role, how much to teach it's a step-by-step now instead of doing everything at once. And I love that idea. And right, you're right. It's a two-way communication. One must understand and they must respond. And that's what needs to happen in your classroom so student knows how to communicate, not just in their head. Okay, so I mentioned earlier the CEFR with primary books, your Get Smart. I think I sent samples to your boss for Top Stars, our newest primary book. Jesse, have you had a chance to take a look at Top Stars? Have you received the samples? Yeah, okay. I love Get Smart, but Top Stars it's even better. Anyway, both Get Smart Top Star covers up to A2 level right here, and Full Blast covers up to B2. And the last two columns right here tells you where the CEFR standard, the grammar structure matches with the Korean school public program. So pre-A1 is covered in elementary 3rd and 4th grade, A1, 5, 6, middle school 1st, A2, middle school 1, 2, 3, B1, and so forth, right? That's about the level with the Korean public system. And the last column right here says Cambridge exam. This whole CEFR we're not the only one who's talking about this. And in fact, the Cambridge has a subsidiary or subdivision called Cambridge Assessment. And they're the one who tests students, learners for the CEFR level, and they're the one who certifies students that they are of this level, right? And so we're not the only one who just, oh, this is where you are. Student can be certified for this, okay? I'm gonna fast forward this. Next is this idea of spiral syllabus. What this means is that the idea of certain grammar structure, you don't teach it once and expect students to know everything about it. It grows and expands with the learner, right? So present simple and green level are taught again in level 2 and taught again in level 3, but this time we're comparing present simple to present progressive. Right, so basically we expand with the student's ability and their understanding.